Coach, it seems like you came out with some purpose and maybe a little aggression offensively. And how would you kind of assess how well you guys hit the ball up and down the lineup?
Yeah, I thought it was great. Really good ball club, and the opportunity to get these guys going a little bit here at home. It was kind of those days as a manager, it scares you with the wind blowing out like that because you can a walk, an HPP, a pop up, and the game's just close all game. And we battled early, and we were able. I thought the at bat by Ace Reese really kind of opened that game up when he hit the double down the line and really spread us out. And man, our guys took advantage of it.
Robbie.
Guys, especially maybe some straight pull hitters can see that wind too and kind of get big eyes, but your guys seemed to kind of stay within themselves and had really good at bats. What do you think of
Hunter Hines didn't hit a home run the whole BP, I don't think. So that was nice, like trying to stay on the ball and just hit balls hard. And that was the message, because the message was you don't have to try harder today. There's more holes, balls land because of the wind. There was just a lot more, and I thought they did a great job with it.
And seeing Hunter too come up with 2 big hits.
Yeah.
And like you said, they were single up the middle. It was not trying to do too much, getting a big hit. I mean, how'd that feel seeing him get back in there?
Yeah, it's awesome. We need him. Like I know it's been tough. My heart goes out to him. I know how hard the kid works. And we need him. We need him to be a special offense, and we have a lot of special pieces. But I mean, he's got a chance to be one of the better players in the league, and he's done it before. I was just happy for him, especially the last at bat. You kind of go, and I know it's a big game or whatever, but 2 strikes and he stays on the ball and just hits a missile to the infield. So really good night for him.
David.
Days like today, somebody's going to be the big hitter. Today it was Nolan Stevens out there getting the 2 shots, and just seemed to be some nice, easy swings on his part too.
Will you tell him that? That's been the approach, is easy swings. Like, he's very talented, had a really good night, and a good player. Sometimes he tries a little too hard, tries to hit it a little too hard. So, but he's a really good player. When he comes in here later, we all ask him how he missed the 3-0 pitch that we gave him because he swung too hard. So maybe ask him that question.
Doug.
Coach, we were scrambling, looking through the record books at the end of the game, trying to find a margin over Southern Miss here, and never could find one. What kind of a win like this over a quality and ranked team does this do? What does it do for the team?
That's great. I mean, like I said, you've watched us the last week or so, and we're good. I really truly believe we're good, and we just got to play better. And I think this is a step in that direction. And hopefully we got a week and a half here before we get to the SEC play, that we can build some confidence and some momentum.
Steve.
What do you feel like you got out of Jacob Pruitt tonight? Kind of where does he stand into future plans?
Well, I thought he was competitive. It isn't, when you're a breaking ball guy, tonight can be a little bit tough. Landing I didn't think he landed his off speed as well as he did last week. But we're just trying to build up his volume too, so trying to get him to, a 4 or 5 inning guy. But I thought it was okay. I thought he competed, which I like to see. I just knew he was having a hard time finding that slider.
Yeah, so Ace, Noah, and Nolan combined, if I'm doing back napkin math, right? 10 hits, 10 RBIs. Just
Wow.
How did you feel seeing that out of the heart of your lineup there?
Really good. Noah, what a night. I mean, a perfect night almost. And then Ace, I thought Ace got it going there late. And then Nolan, I thought who hit the 2 homers back to back? Was that Noah and Hunter?
Nolan?
Yeah, and Nolan, so I'm sorry. So, that was a big part of the game right there. Like some really good at-bats and just, not trying to do too much.
Ben.
Yeah, Brendan just touched on the middle of the order and how they were crushing the ball. The bottom of the lineup too, given Gatlin Sanders the start, he comes up with a hit. Dylan Cup reaches base every time he comes up. So what did you like from some of the guys in the back part of the order?
That's why you see a score like that, is when your bottom of your lineup hits. It's just hard to, they were pretty good. And I thought Gatlin gave us some really competitive at-bats. He's a good player. Probably should have played a little more to this point, but I like him. He's a slow heartbeat guy, so he doesn't get too sped up. Made a nice double play there off of Higdon late. So I thought he played well, and I thought Dylan Cup had some really good at-bats.
Sam, you
When you have such wind like this tonight, how much does that factor, if at all, into strategy or lineup decisions?
No, we spent a long time talking about hitters and what hitters and where's it blowing and when's it going to stop today. Believe me, because you don't know which guy. Until we took BP, it's kind of a weird wind anyway, because you saw it knocked a lot down the left. I know Noah still got one out, but a lot of those balls hung up. So we spent a good bit of time talking about it.
Robbie.
Every coach is different on how they put their lineups together and what they're looking for. You have so much depth and so many guys that come through. Do you like being able to just look at the pitcher or look at the wind and put guys in there, or do you want to have your 9 guys and go with it?
I like having 9. I like having about 12, but we do have, like, we have some guys, like, I feel bad with tonight when we put the lineup up and Aaron Downs ain't in there because I think that's one of the better players. And I got to get Garrett Fry. You know, I told Go before we walked out, I got 2 of our hottest hitters, and they're not in the lineup, but the other guys matched up better, and the other guys, man, they performed. And so it's a good problem to have. The good teams in the country have those problems. And the more they hit collectively as a group, they all get to play. And that's a good thing. But I like it a little more set. But I'd rather have a couple extra good hitters.
Got time for a few more, David.
It was still a competitive game when you put Chase out there, and he had a really efficient 2 innings, like 22 pitches to get through that. And how does that impact his availability this weekend?
Chase will be good. He's how many do you have total?
22.
22
Oh, wow.
pitches and 2.1 innings.
Wow, that's pretty good. So he could probably throw tomorrow. So, you know, those sidearms like a softball pitcher, I tell him. So he should be good. But he'll be around this weekend. He will have him. That was a nice part is we didn't have to wear through too many. I thought we'd have to throw a lot of arms tonight against those guys.
Steven and Doug.
Kind of along those lines, and I don't want to remind you this, but I'm going to 6 games in 8 days. I mean, that really taxes the depth of your bullpen. What are the chances maybe we see, you know, Nolan Stevens or, you know, Noah Sullivan maybe eat some innings up in Biloxi?
And some of our young guys. I mean, we're going to need them. We're going to have to use everybody because you got to be ready to go Friday night against Texas. And so you got to have your best bolts in there. So I'm hoping you see a good bit, some new faces out there on the bump. And some of them just are going to have to pitch a little bit more. You know, we've been using them as 1-inning guys. They'll probably all get increased a little bit as we go through the next couple of days.
Coach, seems insignificant when you win by 15, but there's a little roller down third base line that looked like the third baseman might have touched it and couldn't be reviewed because it didn't go past the bag. But how did you see that? Is there any part of that can be reviewed?
I got bad eyes. I think everything goes for us. So, like, I'm always thinking it's fair or foul for us. And then Cheese just shook his head and said it was foul. So he had the better. I mean, I'm got an angle. But, yeah, you can't, you know, and that's why I went out. And he said, no, I couldn't. And so that's what happens on that play. You can't review that play. You know, I don't. Cheese just didn't think it was. And so I usually, you look at me, I look at our first base coach, our third base coach, and I think we got one overturned because our first base coach thought it was safe tonight on the Stallman ball. And so he did a good job of telling me. I usually lean on them more than my look.